what a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with when they learn about how to use the scientific method to test an idea is how to design their experiments. It's hard to think about, it's hard to qualify. You took some really creative approaches. Could you talk about how you thought about designing experiments and then maybe give some examples of the ones you did?
Absolutely. So, kind of anytime you're working on a new idea or concept, with regards to starting a business, there are a couple of really major principles, major components of your business model that you're trying to discover. Things like who your customer is, how you're going to get in front of those customers to give whatever message that you're trying to give them in order to have them convert to a customer. What are the economics around your business? How much does it cost for you to develop or provide a service or product? And then how do those economics influence the frontier of your business? Is your idea, is it $1 million idea? Is it a $10 million idea? Understanding the economics around your concept allows you to then begin to analyze your concept and draw conclusions as to where the frontier of your company, this potential company is. And so a lot of times when we're working with new Foundry participants, we encourage participants to outline their concept in those terms and then grade themselves on how well they know the customer, how well they know the underlying economics, all those different components of a business model, for example. Because we take it as a prerequisite that your idea doesn't have a business model yet. You have a hypothesis or conjecture as to what that model is, but it's not proven yet. And so your experiments, is the process of taking each component of a traditional business model and designing experiments to disclose the specific details of that business model is. Then when you have all those details, you can actually build a business model. But that's another story. But so with regards to Zenik, some of the first questions we tried to answer were things like, does our hypothetical product, who is our customer for this product? We had ideas, this watch that we had sourced, based on my partner and I at the time, based on our backgrounds, we thought it would appeal to action sports consumers, people who skate or snowboard or ski. But that was just our gut feeling. And so the way we went about testing that, to first determine if we were correct, and then if we were wrong, discovered who could potentially be the right customer, was using a social media platform called Instagram, which is similar to Twitter, which is an iPhone and Android app that allows you to take photos and share them with your friends. And in return, people can follow you and you can follow them, and as a result, you can share photos with people. And at the time, about a year ago, the search engine that sat on top of this app made it really easy for me as a user of Instagram to go and target specific individuals based on certain criteria. Basically, I could target people based on who followed them, who they were following, what kind of photos they're uploading, what kind of tags they were associating with each of their photos. And as a result, it made it really easy for me to find, say, 10,000 people who've uploaded a photo with skateboarding as a tag. I could then, at the time, follow those 10,000 people in a relatively short period of time. And then as I follow people, I can measure my follow back rate, meaning how many of the people do I follow me back. So for, call it 3 hours, I could follow 10,000 people and that uploaded a skateboarding picture and then measure my follow back rate. And that would give me some indication of, my product market fit, how well my product aligns with this target customer preferences, for design, colors, price, etc. And then for another 3 hours or whatever period of time I choose, I could follow, say, women who've uploaded photos about fashion, kind of this younger, fashion-oriented, female target customer or demographic, and then measure that follow-back rate. And it would be interesting if the follow-back rate with women was much higher, say double the action sports follow-back rate. that would give me some idea of, you know, who my actual customer is based on how they're engaging with me on, you know, the social platform. And so for us, that's kind of, or for the Foundry, kind of a case study experiment in which it required, you know, no money. You know, we already had the iPhones, it was a free app. It required an afternoon of time, you know, essentially taking some photos of these samples that we had, uploading them to Instagram, and then following various groups of people that we identified, and then just measuring fallback rate. And it's a rough approximation for, okay, you know, we found these two target demographics were the most likely to follow us back. Let's explore that a little bit more. You know, we can, you know, discount these other groups because we even get some measure of reaction from them.
How often would you do these kind of experiments?
With regards to the following, in the beginning, you know, basically just the ones. Like once we kind of found our niche, you know, we kind of stopped experimenting with following people. Later on, we kind of hit the frontier of skaters, for example, that we can follow on Instagram, and then began exploring people in the tech industry or people, you know, that follow like GQ or men's fashion type magazines, stuff like that. So in the beginning, we didn't do, you know, beyond just a few exploratory follows, like we didn't do a whole lot because we found our niche really quickly, which was action sports, as we thought was. Later on, we began to explore a little bit more, but, you know, as we're going about inventing this, if you will, like, we didn't put a whole lot of thought, to be honest, into it. We were just kind of, you know, let's try this. And then now, as we kind of reflect on what we ended up doing, we're like, oh, well, we could have optimized it for this, or we should have been following this metric, or, you know, we should have been doing it more rigorously. And so now, you know, current participants have the ability to kind of, you know, take those learnings from us, the way we administer the experiment, and then kind of take our recommendations on how you could improve that experiment, and then implement it with their own companies. And so the cool thing about the Foundry is it has this really rich kind of legacy of participants and companies who have, you know, experimented with experiments, if you will. Like, you know, there's existing data on, you know, what experiments are useful and which aren't, and along with recommendations on how you could further improve or tweak them to make them work for your business.